Hey guys, this is Chime. I'm tuning in post-Christmas, and I hope that everyone had an amazing holiday and got to spend time with people they love and do the things that they want to do, hopefully on days that they were free from obligation and going to work. I was working, but I got to do fun stuff anyways. I want to tune in today and talk about the hedonic treadmill. Hedonic adaptation is the idea that as humans built for survival, we adapt hedonically. We adapt and normalize the scenarios and situations in our lives so that no matter how bad or good a situation potentially is, all of a sudden it feels like normal everyday life. It's not out of the ordinary. And we're really, really adaptable as creatures of the world who have constantly moved from one territory to another in all kinds of conditions we can't even imagine, from freezing to high heat. It's really important for us to be able to get over some immediate aspect of our environment so that we can then focus on the next task at hand. So it makes a lot of sense for us to stop feeling like this new beach town is so amazing, and we can start focusing on the things within that town that we can improve, whether it be creating a shelter or finding food, or once we have that food, instead of feeling so overwhelmed with joy and pleasure about having all the food you can, even though if an hour ago or a day ago you might have been absolutely starving, once you have all that food, now it's time for you to focus on staying warm, or maybe finding some more resources for you to build and expand. So this happens in our daily lives in all kinds of ways, from a new cell phone. I'm sure that a lot of us got new gadgets and toys for the holidays, and when you get that new phone, or maybe something bigger or smaller, from a car all the way down to a new pair of socks, when you first put that new pair of socks on, you are so stoked. It seems like all the problems in the world might be solved. Maybe your new phone allows you to take long, pretty videos, and you feel like you'll be the happiest person on earth for as long as there is time. And then within maybe a week or 2 weeks, or for some people it might be longer or shorter, you start to stop to see that nice shiny aspect to that new toy, and you start to feel like this is sort of just the same phone that I've always had. It doesn't even feel like it's bigger or higher def than your last one. And this is, again, a survival mechanism that we are able to normalize things from good to bad in our lives. And this can happen with a new job where we're getting so much more money, or we have so much more responsibility, and it's all exciting and new, and the days fly, and then within a certain amount of time things seem totally normal. And this is great if you want to survive out in a circumstance where you need to find food and resources. But when you're in a world where we've already met all of our physical needs for survival, where we have all the food and all the water and shelter we need for the most part. Some of us obviously aren't that fortunate, but it starts to become a problem, because what happens when you do get to a point where you've amassed and acquired everything that you've ever needed for quote unquote happiness, but you're still fiending for something new, something to give you that spark back in your life. This starts to become a potentially negative thing in your life, because we're always grasping for something new. And this is not only from material things, but all the way to life circumstances, where your relationship maybe, or your, like I said earlier, a job or a career or an entire zip code where you live. Things were so exciting, and now you need something new to stir up the pot and make things fun and new again. And so I want to talk about what this means in terms of our happiness, and then also maybe ways to sort of be aware of this hedonic adaptation so that we can be more content with the things we have. And a few of my friends and I took a class recently that really went into this concept. So maybe some of you have heard of this. I've heard podcasters talk about the hedonic treadmill, and you can of course find much more information online. But I want to just briefly get into ways of being aware of it, and one of the ways that our teacher wanted us to, I think, looking back, potentially combat it is through gratitude. So being thankful for the things that you already have rather than focusing on the things that you don't have. And this idea can stem from not only small things in your life, but all the way, of course, to the big things. It can grow into a deep contentment with the things that you already have because you're actively showing and feeling the appreciation for the things that are so easy to take for granted. There's a famous monk talked about the key to happiness, and he said that the way that he has figured life out is through being grateful for the things that he has, which is so simple, and of course it's so cliche, but when you are in a situation where you're feeling like you would be happy if only you had that promotion, or if only you had that new toy or that new thing, if you stop and you take the time to recognize that having a warm bed during these cold months and having hot water or someone to turn to, a friend or a family member or someone you trust to tell the things that you need to talk about to, if you can take the time to appreciate how lucky you are to have those things, because somewhere, whether it's in your life in the past or where you will be in the future, or someone else immediately right now in the world who doesn't have those things, you're so blessed and so lucky to have each of the things that you have. And of course, we're constantly fluctuating from happy to sad to gracious to short-tempered, and this is the problem with trying to find stability in things outside of our own minds, is they're always changing. So of course your cup of hot coffee that you needed to start your day is going to get cold, and that guy or girl you loved so much and you wanted to go on a date with, all of a sudden now you've been dating for years and it's not the same. Or maybe you got that car and it was so fun to drive fast initially, and now you're starting to feel like that new Tesla is the fastest car and you'd be so happy with it. But if you stop and you feel like the things that you have might actually already be enough, then what is there else to need besides the need for space and time to appreciate what you have? If you can be content with where you are and open to new things and new changes, then new changes, new things will come whether you like it or not. But now if you're just simply open and not resisting or forcing anything, you're content with where you are, but whatever happens is okay and is exciting, and you don't need it to go any certain way. Whatever happens is going to happen, and you're appreciative for the fact that you have what you have, and the good things are going to happen. And if things that you don't want to happen, it's okay, because you still have all the things that you're so appreciative for. And this doesn't have to be anything that is losable. You can be appreciative for your viewpoint. You can be appreciative for your ability to sense and feel and hear all these things that are so intrinsically pleasurable. If you can stop and feel the warm air, the warm sun on your face, and you can enjoy a nice moment, then you don't actually need to search outside of yourself for these things that you thought you needed so desperately. And once you realize that the things will keep coming, the things will keep going, and those aren't going to be what actually changes your experience. Only your changing of your experience will change how those outside things affect you. You got to change from the inside out, because then the outside, kind of whatever happens, you're still content with it, and nothing can really go wrong because you still have the things that you're appreciative for. That's 10 minutes, and I'll say goodbye to you guys. I hope to see you soon.